right. Today, the roles have reversed.
Oh, yeah.
We're going studio stories, but we're doing a remix edition.
Oh, yeah.
So today, Jon Boogz is the host of
Jesus.
Studio Stories.
Yeah, heck my show.
And I want to interview the one and only creator of Studio Stories, my brother, King Mike, man.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate it.
It's funny how this idea came. Maybe we'll explain later how the idea came, but I'm just happy that the fan base and people that are supporting the pod on Instagram and YouTube and all those places, like, they'll get a little bit more insight of, like, the person you are, the man you are, the artist you are.
Facts.
I think it's just important. People need to, like, they need to know. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So,
100.
so I want to just kick it off with, like, tell the people who you are and where you're from and what you do.
Well, I'm King Mike. I'm from Baltimore, yeah, I mean, you already know. West Side Side, no, in fact. But yeah, I'm from Baltimore City. And yeah, that's pretty much my story. I grew up in Baltimore, born native, and then I started dancing as a kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We start dancing as children in Baltimore. It's like a rite of passage. We club dancers. We got Baltimore Club. I mean,
Yeah.
I come from the Frank Ski era, like when club music first started, way back in the day, beginning. So that's like my first language of music is Baltimore Club, house, you know what I mean? Them upbeat,
the up-tempo,
you know what I mean? High African drum type of vibes. So that's like our native tongue. So I've been dancing since I was a little kid. I don't even remember the start. It's just regular.
That's rad. But like, what's crazy is, I said it on my episode of Studio Stories. I kind of talked about my Baltimore, Maryland influence and how that's the place I started popping and dancing. But like, I need to know, like, what was that moment for Mike when, because obviously you're known in the streets as a popper, and we're going to get into that history and the call out battles and all that stuff later. But like, what was that moment for you when you were like, I got to do that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you saw, and it doesn't have to be popping. It could be your first experience seeing club dancing in Baltimore. I just want to know, like, what was that moment that drew you to the form of dance? Like, do you have a memory on hand of like, oh, this was a time when I was like, oh.
It's funny you say, I have a few memories of like just being a kid. When you're young and you doing it like with your cousins and you just little and your aunts and uncles, like that's pretty much your first audience.
Facts.
In those spaces, I've always been the one they like, go ahead, Mike, go ahead, Mike. You know what I mean? That positive. Me and my sister, we was dance partners as children.
That's tight.
So growing up, even amongst the older kids, we were the younger kids who were like, hey, they're a little bit more than good. Like, they're not just little kid dancing. Like, they actually cold. And that's when the older kids start picking up like, yo, we need to bring them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's tight.
So at a young age, like, I think just being exposed to it by my older cousins and older friends and family, I was able to get really good really fast at just dance, period. Understanding of music and rhythms and being able to apply it like an adult.
For sure.
Young.
That's tight.
Like
That's
how
tight.
to apply rhythms to my body as a kid.
At a young age.
I've been able to do. So, and there you can see it in my popping style. Like, I'm more of a rhythmic, how you do it guy versus the what you're doing.
Yeah, what you're doing.
It's because of my understanding of music just
that makes sense.
at a young age.
So like many, black dancers, because I feel like I see this as a thread, is like dance or music has been in their lives since before they chose a style. Facts. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, right? So it's just like, oh man, my mom used to dance, or I used to, just like you just told me. But like specifically, since you're known in the popping world and respected, world renowned in the popping world, what was the first moment you saw popping and said, I want to pop?
To be, bro, when we were younger, summertime, you stayed in the house all day. You didn't have nothing. We had 10,000 VHS tapes. Bro, I can't even think. We had bookshelves, where it was supposed to be books. It was tapes. And one of them tapes was breaking. So in the summertime, and we used to watch the rundown of the old shows, because we ain't had no cable.
Yeah.
We don't have cable.
Yeah.
So with the old shows used to come on. You used to have Good Times. Well, and that's way before my time, but we was watching that channel because that's what we had. Good Times, What's Happening, what's another one? and then it would come up to like newer shows. But those shows used to come on. We used to just watch them. Like, we watching the old show. What's the different strokes?
Yeah.
But what's happening? We used to see rerun.
Yep.
Then we seen breaking, and we used to watch the breaking tape.
Yeah, religious.
10 million times. And when we seen Taco and Shrimp and all of them, like, we like.
What year was this? Do you remember around what year that was?
This is elementary school. Like, I'm talking about, I was a little child.
So it's the 90s.
90s.
Okay.
That's when we was. And in Baltimore, I always would see my cousins, older cousins, we would flirt with poppin'. Of course, we from the East Coast, so we don't know we don't know Poppin' Pete that we watching on this breaking tape is really an international superstar who is one of the founders of Poppin' and took it worldwide. We don't know that. We just watching this. Oh, this is an old school movie. Oh, that's tight. You know what I'm saying? Shrimp, that's crazy. We don't know that these people are world renowned. We just watching it and we're little kids.
Yeah.
And that was my start. My very first experience seeing Poppin' outside of just some hood people hitting something was the movie Breaking.
Shout out.
And I rewinded it 600 times. Like I watched it like every day, bro.
Yeah, same. That's funny. I was the same way. I used to, because back then you could put your VHS tapes on slow
motion.
Yeah, so like you could like take a move you really liked. There was a particular move I think me and you talked about off camera that Taco did where he like did a cobra and then he like started to do a chest hit. And I remember I didn't understand it, so I put it in slow-mo to see like is he doing like a trick or something?
Yeah, like what is that?
Yeah, what is he doing? How's he making his chest pop like that?
And the first person I noticed was Shrimp because like that broom scene.
Facts.
Bro, that was.
I mean, that's the most iconic breaking scene of all time.
Of all time. Yeah. Like, but imagine seeing that as a kid.
100%.
And you're like, you didn't even know this is possible to move like that. It was like, I'm looking at, this is not a human being.
Hands down, Shrimp was my favorite.
Of all time.
In both of the movies, just because he had like a magic about him that was like, even this part 2 where he's on the ceiling, doing an odd to Fred Astaire, but the street dance version where he's gliding on the walls
upside
and
down.
doing all that.
And it's when I got nicer a little bit and I started practicing a little bit and then I started noticing Taco and I'm like, wait a minute. How is he doing that? Yeah. There's no way. And he was just thorough. The character they gave him it represented
he was the heel.
Street energy, because that's everybody's a heel in the street, in the hood. Everybody's a heel. Like I don't 100%. Like you, you don't like me. I'm coming at you. Everybody battles like that. So for them to put that in the movie, that was kind of cool. Because we was battling like that
spit out
as kids in Baltimore. When you battling, we all grow up battling Baltimore club. That's our thing. So you 6 years old battling like that. Yeah, so I resonated with that energy. Like, oh.
Yeah. He said, what'd he say? He said, we'll eat you up and
spit
out the pieces we don't like. Hey, shout out to Taco. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah,
rest in peace. Rest in peace, Shabba-Doo. 2 legends in the movie Breaking. They're no longer here, but they paved the way for cats like us to succeed. So shout out to them brothers.
Facts.
All right, so it's funny. I'm glad you touched on Taco's energy because that's what's going to segue me into this next question is like, you're known... I've never seen, first of all, let me put some respect on Mike's name real quick. This is coming from me, you know what I mean? Like, everybody else saying this is what I'm saying. I've never seen anyone have a reputation in the popping game that didn't go the competition route. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point you never really dabbled in the matrix is what I would like to say. You know what I'm saying? Like you were known for calling people out, pulling up on people at jams and just doing it the traditional way, which obviously I can relate to because I didn't start competing. Like you can ask any of the Florida legends, you know what I mean? Our battles happened at the beach, at skating rings, and at clubs. Or you went to somebody's neighborhood because they said they could see you. So that my first 10 years of battling in my life was only that. Mm-hmm. And then once I got in the popping world, I was like, well, it seems like the only way to get recognized is I guess I gotta enter these competition formats or whatever. But you came in off the rip kind of like, yo, what's up? Let's just do it. Mm-hmm. So like, 1, can you tell me where that energy comes from? And then 2, can you name some of your favorite call out moments of your career? Like,
well, the energy comes from Baltimore. Like, I've been battling That would pretty much, that's your first rite of passage or dance style. It's like, I'm only learning this to get on when I see him, like whether we in the first grade, whoever it is, he dancing, you out there, your mother, your aunt, your cousin, boy, get him. And then it grew up to just neighborhood. We at the skating ring. You at Orchard skating ring. Everybody know in Towson. Everybody go there on Sundays. Yep. You got every hood in Baltimore. It's on the east side. So we from the west. You got east side people, west side people. You got, and it's niggas. Yeah. It's hood niggas. Yeah. So I'm the dance guy of my group.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm with stone cold real niggas. Yeah. And it's a bunch of them on this side. And but you representing your group. You better go out there and get out.
You gotta go out there and cut up. Yeah.
You gotta go get out. And so I'm already come from this. I've been doing this for 15 years before I even knew about what was considered then the commercial dance battle world.
Makes sense.
So I don't know nothing else.
Okay, so I can
so that's where the energy comes from.
I can attest to that because when I was living in Baltimore for 3 years, my very first talent show, we didn't put on a show. It was me and my friend Kendall Harris, shout out Kendall Harris, and this dude, Brian Dyson. I forget the other, my memory's slipping because I'm like 12 years old, so I don't remember. But we battled each other on stage as my first talent show. So we didn't put on a show.
That's all we knew.
You two versus us two, we're going to put it on stage in front of the whole neighborhood.
And that was it, bro. And so you already know, being in Baltimore, and so imagine you got there and that was already happening. That's just the energy of the city. That's just what we do. So by the time I got to this commercial, the world that, that's on the internet, this is just what I do already. So that's where the energy come from. I don't.
Okay, the energy. But now, I mean, I want you to roll them off. Like I have my favorite call out, but it's just an educational moment for people who may not know what a call out battle is. It's an impromptu situation.
It's a street fight.
Yeah, it's like you just want to go up against the other dancer. It's not planned. Yeah. There's no organized rounds. There's no judges going 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you win. It's you versus that dancer. You could go for 10 minutes. You can go for an hour. You could go for, So, Mike, when I say call-out battles, I just want to educate the audience and people who may not be like, what's a call-out battle? Because some people in the hood are just like, a battle's a battle. What do you mean?
Like, nah,
but competition is very different than a call-out. The call-outs are the real battles. In my opinion,
facts.
Many of the favorite dancers are great in contests, but if you put them in a cypher, it's a whole different animal because there's no rules, there's no time limits. And it's removed of the politics of a normal competition format. So like, what are your favorite ones? If you had to name 3 of your favorite call out battles, which ones would you pick and why?
3, a lot of I battle so many people, bro, and there's so many off camera. Yeah. Like the ones that were caught on camera, I'm gonna mention the ones that were caught on camera just because people know of them. Yeah. So like Green, like shout out Green. At the time, he's the hottest dancer in the world, popper wise, commercial in the battle space, competition space.
Yes.
I'm a person where I'm like, it's any given Sunday in the battle world where I'm from. Yeah. So why are y'all praising anybody? Like, it don't matter. Like, okay, you may have this, you may have that, but can you win a fight against this? Yeah. I'm a fighter. Yeah. I'm a battler. I'm going to try to dissect what you got. Yeah. So my goal was to, how do I take his ground from him? Because if he went to the ground, I was cooked. Yeah. Straight up. He was the coldest ground move guy at the time.
Hell yeah, he was.
So when I approached that battle, even my mentors were telling me at the time, I think it was Slick, I'm like, bro, I'm going to get Green. He like, no, you're not. I'm like, yes, I am, bro, because I'm going to take his legs away from him. He's like, no, you can't do it. I was like, watch. I went there, I'm like, hey, bro, first thing I said to him was, hey, you can only get down when you get on the ground. You can't get down up top. And I said it in front of like every New York OG. And then I just start going, start cracking.
I remember seeing that one.
It puts you at, when you're in that kind of battle, it puts you at I got to show you.
Yeah.
And now you lost. You know what I'm saying? And the shot, listen, top tier.
Yeah.
Shout out him. That was 100 years ago. But that was just my mentality. It's like, I'm a fighter. So how do I show people? So that's one, how to fight, how to battle.
Yeah, 100%.
The right way. So that's one that everybody know that was iconic. What's another one? France. France is probably one of the biggest.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, because France was more than just. It was more than just a battle. It was kind of like a statement. At the time, you got the Just a Boo. That's the biggest dance in the world. And then they were like, I don't believe in dance celebrities. That just was my thing back then. Now, shout out, whatever. But when I went in there, I'm like, this is not the real thing. Like, I'm used to real hostile. I'm used to battling the hood where if I don't win, my group might get in a fight with this group. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be something totally different. So I don't feel no type of way coming into Just a Boo and going, what's up? Where the best at? And that's how the video starts back then. It's like, I'm calling out who's the, I think it was Nelson and what's the other one? Frankie at the time.
Frankie or Frankie.
And got to battling them, and that was crazy. That was a wild event, bro.
Yeah, I remember seeing
that whole day was crazy.
And people don't really realize at that time it was like it was just a unique time in the game, and when we were all currently in G Style at that time, we were truly trying to fight for being able to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what people say, I don't care what nobody say. The footage doesn't lie. 90% of people back then were approaching popping a similar way. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying the dudes in the hoods or in the South or in other places, and even there's cats on the West Coast that have their own unique, tons of people actually on the West Coast that have their own unique thing. I'm talking about on an international scale of the biggest events. People were kind of approaching the dance similarly. And we were, fighting for like individuality and to be like, hey, dog, it's okay if you play like Kobe Bryant and I play like Tim Duncan.
Straight up.
Or, I'm using basketball as a metaphor, but like you can approach the game differently, but as long as we both have this same technique and discipline. And that was an era where if you didn't approach it a certain way, people were acting as if you weren't playing the game.
And the thing is, what y'all don't understand is, by the time we got to this stage, I'm 20 years in battling. A lot of y'all been popping for 10 years. You learned this in a studio. You don't know the real culture of battling. So that's why I was always able to get an edge on you. Because I'm 10 years your senior, even though you may be older than me. I come from the real culture of street dance for real.
That's a fact.
And so that's a lot of the times why, and I will always say, if it doesn't matter, because we were viral before viral was viral. So it was YouTube, comments, whatever. We was flooding the internet. Why are you mad? Why are you so upset? Why do it matter so much if you don't believe it's good? You know that this is the real thing. You're just upset at the moment because you're not there yet. A lot of the times.
And it's the proximity.
Yeah.
It's like I said in my episode, it's the proximity. If you have a proximity to black culture, you know there's nothing wrong with what happened.
Nothing.
There's nothing wrong with me saying, let me test my skills against your skills. Doesn't matter what your name is or anything.
You know what's funny about what you said? I don't know who was organizing the event or the people who was working there that day. This is stuff that's off camera that people will never know. When we showed up in our uniforms, there were camera crews outside following us everywhere we went. Across the street, we go to Starbucks. We couldn't walk in the street. Cars stopping, they followed us the whole way. We were not invited to this place. We just walked in. The line is 19 blocks long. When I say this is the biggest event in France.
I know.
The biggest dance event in the world. So you already know how crazy that line is.
20,000.
John, we walked directly to the front, and the people who were at the door was like this. Let them in. Excuse me, stopped their superstars. Let them in. Let us walk straight in. When it was time to go backstage, because after the battle and it was crazy, they was like, let's take it to the stage. Let's take it to the stage. And the commotion's going crazy. We're like, all right, we're going to the stage. We get to walk into the stage. All the security let us through. And the people that we just battled in the cypher, they said, y'all can't come. Y'all need permission. So we're standing on the stage. We couldn't get the stage battle because they wouldn't let them in. That shows the influence, though. Like, you really know what the real thing is when it's in person.
When it's there.
When it's there, you know, bro. Facts. You know.
So those are your... So ship... Go ahead. You third
I didn't do
one.
the third one.
Yeah, you got it.
Third is, of course, everybody know about the Chad, bro.
Oh, Matt Chad, yes.
Shout out Chad, man.
Yeah.
That was just a funny one for me. Like, I took it serious, but I never take none of them battles serious. Like, it's just fun. But
what was the purpose of why did you want to call out Chad at that time? I don't think I
at that time, I just didn't like his.
You have to have a reason.
Yeah. No, I always had a reason. I create a reason even if I don't have one because I battle from real street rules.
Yeah.
I want to not like you when I'm battling. Straight up. Like, I don't care if you my granny. Granny, what you got on? Granny, you tripping. Your shoes trash right now. I'm flaming granny up. Wow. You know what I mean? Straight up. But at the time for Chad, I got mad. We were judging together. It's me, him, and Todd. Papa Todd. Shout out Todd. And shout out Chad.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that he was trying to put little kids through who were, just because they were roboting, over poppers who spent their life, like it was some Houston poppers who was cold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are they not getting through the prelim? I mean, this little cute little kid, props.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
We got an argument in the back, and I'm like, oh, I'm turning up on you now.
Yeah.
And that was just, back then, that was my energy. Yeah, it ain't take much for me to turn up.
Yeah.
So that was my, I'm turning up.
Okay, that's
and that's what has sparked it. So I'm like, bro, you ain't even popping. You know what I mean? I'm going crazy. I'm talking crazy. I used to talk.
I mean, hey, you just named three pretty iconic.
But shout out Mad Chad though.
Yeah, man.
That's so old. He don't care about that. Bro, he's an international superstar.
Yeah,
Who cares?
and it doesn't even. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about just if that's a part of it. Like, to be honest, man, I think you. Before we transition to the next thing, is like I think it was good for the game because that energy needed to come back. I mean, I don't really recall too many people, and I'm not even trying to toot our horn. I'm trying to think in my brain, how many people during that time were really calling people out. Like, I can only recall you. I called out Brooke when I went to the UK. Me and Green had a battle too. Far Side, like it
was nobody, bro, because people was scared to get canceled. Back then, it was a cancel. It was a different kind of cancel where nobody wanted to be hated. I don't care about being hated. Back then, I used to laugh, bro. I used to have, like, me and my homies, we would go through the comments. We would only look for the worst comments so we can laugh at it. Like, that fueled us because it's just funny. Like, bro, this world don't matter. I just come from real street people. Like, if I win this battle, he might steal off on me right now. How I'm going to pull out this parking lot if I win this battle? He don't bust my windows, beat me up. So this little battle, this is fun. Like, you mad? Wow, I'm fired immediately.
And to be honest, 90% of the people leaving the comments can't even get down.
Or they just trolls, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't even dance. They're just fans of the craft, but they aren't practitioners of the craft. So it's like, if Wiggles, shout out Wiggles, if Wiggles say, hey yo, blah blah blah, or Bop and Dre, or
they all show love.
Yeah, if they are saying something, then it's like, okay, you're a master or a practitioner of the craft. I respect what you have to say because of the work you put in. But those people online, man, half of the people got stuff to say. You go on their page and you watch them dance. You like, oh, you don't even
trashing out.
You don't even have any room to be talking.
And every time I cross paths with an OG, like I've battled Jazzy, Fish, who was my dog, and all of them my friends. Bob and Andre, Buddha Stretch, we'd have been in heated battles. And then afterwards, they give me love, give me hugs, bro, that's dope. We love what you're doing. Anybody that's came across from me, they said, we like your creativity, what you do with the style, how you make it your own. Wiggles made a whole forum on me on his page, on his website.
Yeah.
So
it just goes to show the growth,
testament of the work.
At that time, there was a divide between a lot of Electric Boogaloo fam and G-Style, and it's funny to see the growth. Yeah. Because you fast forward however many years, and you're in my basement at my house sessioning with Pete, and we're all vibing, having a good time. Yeah. And so it just shows real, recognized real, no matter what, and like these different times and phases are just dope parts of the journey that you can look back and be like, these are little like milestones or just pinnacle moments of you establishing who you are in the game and leaving like an imprint on the game. So big respect, because like I like seeing it because I loved doing that too. So it was nice to be like, oh, cool, somebody got that type of energy.
Now,
like
you used
me.
to hit me about, we used to be talking all the time.
Yeah,
like, I see
and
it.
Slim Boogie can attest to this. Like when I first moved to LA, I wasn't there. I was only there a week, and I called him and said I want to battle him because I heard he was nice.
Yeah,
and we met up at a club that night. And we went like 15 rounds.
Yeah, man.
Pop and Andre was there. Everyone was there, and like so like. I think it's that Maryland upbringing, that coming from Miami and all that, like that was just the environment. So transitioning from battling, because that's cool, and I love hearing the stories, but like what made you want to transition into doing a little bit more industry work? I mean, obviously, you know, you did the blind spotting with me, and then you recently done some stuff on, you know, with Will Trent and Lance and D. I mean, tell me a little bit of when did it click for you, like, oh, I want to start now, you know, transitioning into the business of the craft.
To be honest, it's been a thought, but I had no idea of how to do it when I was younger. And you can ask, like, because Castro to Ball, you may know, everybody know Castro in the popping world. I've known them, we've been in crew, and I've known them for years.
Long time.
I was always the one, like, let's do a show. So I built the John Hopkins. I was doing shows with the B-boys at John Hopkins. I was choreographing and all that, and they're like, all right, let's do it. But it wasn't a thought. I'm teaching, but I didn't know how to jump into the commercial world.
Yeah.
After the battle world, I got kind of sick of it. I was just like, all right, I'll call somebody out whenever I want to, but I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until my homie Lance, shout out Lance and Daniel Guillermo, when I say two of the most talented people I know in my life, period. Lance. When I say I love them so much, I love the twins too, shout out them. He would see me. We used to go to a spot called Joe Square in Baltimore, like on Tuesday nights. All the dancers would come out there. And matter of fact, when they shot Step Up and Adam Savani, all of them used to come there when they was in Baltimore. Yeah. So people would just show up, party all night, dancers. Yeah. I used to come in because I had to work the next day. Yeah. So I would come in, see whoever I wanted to call out, flame somebody up. I mean, crazy battle, crowd going crazy, and I would just dip because I had to go home and go to sleep. Yeah. And so he caught, I never knew he was watching. And he's like, yo, who is that? Yeah. Who's that dude? Because that's the real energy. And he told me this years later. So he hit my boy Tybalt up because he would see Tybalt and Castro. And they like, yo, they got this show called Work in America. That was my first real commercial show that they threw. And it was a stage show, and it was amazing. Rudy Goblin was in it. That's where I met Rudy Goblin. He was the host of the show, and it was iconic. Everybody in that show went on to work in the industry, and it's crazy. So they hit me up, and they thought I was going to be the problem child because that was my reputation in the dance world as the battler, the problem child,
Which is a shame.
That was my reputation. Yeah. And I wound up being the most professional. And I'm not, no diss to everybody. I'm talking about out of our group or the street dancers, they had no idea that I would be like so locked in, like, boom. And since then, we just took off. We best of friends, worked together. I mean, I've done so much commercial work with, LG commercial. We just did Will Trent season 3. We did season 1. Blind Spotted. It just took my brain to another, like, oh, not that I didn't waste time in the battle world. It prepared me for a new world, but there is something else that I can do with my skill set and my creativity. You know what I mean?
Shout out Lance.
Shout out Lance. When I say love them,
with them with Gloria Estefan, which was like, so it's cool connections to see how tight you are with Lance and D and their family, and like how my first job I did, you know, was going on tour with Gloria Estefan and me, Lance, D, Rudy. It's all the same people. We was up there housing, popping, locking, doing everything, you know what I mean, on all these TV shows. Shout out Gloria Estefan. Shout out Chris Scott.
Chris Scott. That's why I met Chris through them, and then we all tight. And so it's like that was a crazy transition to go from complete street dance heel to all the way commercial dancer off of that reputation though, which means that even that still got some kind of respect, even though it was a little negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change nothing about it.
Well, I wanna say something before moving on about that reputation, and I think like what's crazy is if people understood the culture more, you should have never had a bad reputation. That's why Wiggles did
That's
put you
why
on
Wiggles
the
said
forum
that.
and all that, because I think he saw so many people taking shots at you and was like, bro, back in our day, that was a normality.
It's regular.
But I think, I'm gonna keep saying this, the proximity to black culture has been so far removed that when it sometimes gets inserted in a way, it's viewed as aggressive.
And it's American black culture because now it's so widespread, and this is no diss to no other place, but American black culture is way different than everywhere else.
Yeah.
It's just a different vibe.
Yeah.
And so when you come from neighborhoods, like when I would go battle these people in this commercial battle world dance space and I'm getting all these negative comments, when I got back to Baltimore, it was a celebration from everybody. Like, and it was in Miami, it was every black neighborhood in whatever respective cities, Chicago, Atlanta, I get love in them places.
Yeah.
So I did it for them. I didn't care about that was fun to do that. To go there. Because this didn't represent Philly. This didn't represent New York hood. This didn't represent Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta.
Yeah.
It didn't represent that. They still there like, oh, I can do, even if I wasn't the nicest. I'm like, bro, it's plenty more where I came from.
Yeah.
I'm just here shooting the first shot. Wait till you see my man. Wait till you see this one. Y'all ain't even seen Bolt. Like, it's so many people who can go crazy at Miami. They ain't even know y'all exist. And y'all got legend. Look at Kid. Bro, Kid been nice since he was a child.
Yeah, 10.
It's so many legends. And it's a lot of legends you wouldn't even know that's still nice right now. That would never ever see the commercial dance world, bro. Yeah. So that's what I did it for them.
And I think what people don't understand is like the battle space, obviously we've gotten older, so now like we don't battle as much, or if it did happen, it would be in a cipher, the organic way. But even if it would, we understand now, like I think, and I'm saying this for myself, I can only speak for myself, is like I went through a lot of traumas in my life. I went through a lot of things growing up in the places we grew up in and the households we grew up in. So that was a huge outlet for us to get aggression out to get frustrations out. It was a coping mechanism. And sometimes, I'll be honest, that shit wasn't always healthy. Sometimes the battles did get toxic and they did get hostile. But I look at it sometimes and say, man, better that than the alternative of doing this or doing that. And so to me, sometimes when you understand that coming from the culture, this is that true outlet. That's why you were never demonized back home. I was never demonized back home for that, because we understand, man, he's
at home, guess what? Boy, that's the dance nigga.
And he just
you the softest nigga in the group. To be honest, I'm just keeping it a bean. I know some savages. And so once that was done, I'm so happy that I got that out and whatever. Once that was finished, I was able to tap into, I can choreograph, bro. I can create pieces that mean something. I can try to put my creative brain to my movement. Yeah. And that's where I'm at now. Like, exactly. I don't care about battling. Like, I love it. I love to go watch it. I'm still entertained by it. And it's always going to be in my heart, in my spirit. I train like I'm ready to battle.
Of course.
But I'd rather tell a story.
That makes sense. So speaking of telling a story, why did you create Studio Stories? Like this platform we're on right now. Yeah. What was the purpose behind it? What provoked it? Like why did you want to make a podcast?
I wanted to create a podcast, and more than a podcast, a show where we can actually put words to what we do and what I do. Because I've spent a lot of time just not talking. Yeah. I never do. If you look online, or you don't see me arguing in comments. Yeah. I never get on online beef. I'm gonna see you in person. I've always been that. My homie Real Cool, shout out him,
peace.
rest in peace. And Cool Hand Luke, they used to call me the boogeyman because I show up and I don't talk, I just do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to battle you, I'm calling him, I'm not talking online.
Yeah.
But now, like, people don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Like, they just see me now talking he has a voice, they ain't know I talk.
That's a fact.
And you helped me realize that. My homegirl Nicole helped me realize that. Like, bro, you need to start telling your story or talking more, because I always want to share others' experiences. And I've always been around. I'm the person who everybody who matters and who really, if you know him.
Yeah.
Because I don't be popping it.
Yeah.
I'm not like, yo, I know this person. Yo, I done this.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But now I'm like, all right, well, let's put some stories to what we do. And,
that makes sense.
And there's other artists that I respect and love in other genres of art. I'm really connected in the fashion world. Come on. Light, you know what I mean? Light vintage, light Balenci, light peas on the feet, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But we're highly respected in the fashion world. I mean, you've done Louis, you did Virgil's Camp. It's so much stuff. Lil Buck, I mean, we're highly respected in other art forms, musically. You get violinists, pianists, like people at high levels respect us, and we know a lot of people who I feel like the industry doesn't talk about, or the regular world don't know. It's always about music or acting.
Yeah.
So much more than goes into
100%.
production than just music and acting. So
Agreed.
that's what Studio Stories is, not just for that, but it's for just all mediums of people who are high level in their artistry. And we talk about it tight.
So long term, and then I'm gonna hit you with some quick hitters. Long term, what is your goal? What's your longevity goal just as an artist? Not necessarily with the podcast, just because I know that's one part of your artistry, but just in general, like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, what do you want to do with all this knowledge and wisdom and things that you're doing now? Like, where do you see it all going?
Long term is still short term, in my opinion.
Facts.
Like, no matter what, this life is short.
Yeah.
I want to be able to take whatever's in my brain for the rest of my life and put it into work. Make it a real thing.
I love that.
I don't care what it may change. I was a dancer. There'll be a time I can't dance.
Yeah.
Then I may have Studio Stories. There'll be a time where I maybe not be able to speak. Somebody will take this over because I created it.
Yeah.
And now I'll be on to something else. I want to be able to continue to use my brain to make something happen forever. To just let me create forever. That's where I feel at peace.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Okay. Top 5 artistic inspirations. Who are your top 5 artistic inspirations? Can be any genre. I'm not saying dance, because that's another quick hitter later.
Artistic, I like.
Who's in your starting 5 of artists?
I won't say people, I'll say things. I like rap music. And the reason why I say that is because it takes me to a place of like a child. Like, I like listening, even though it may sound crazy to some older people, like, they ain't talking about nothing. It puts me in a place of, I remember when I was that age and how much of I didn't know as much. So this was my base of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And my creativity in that space. I like that. It keeps me in a kid mode sometimes. Like, I want to go back. I want to be able to relate to them.
Yeah, it keeps you young.
I like movies and shows, stuff that makes me go into a whole nother world. Like, I like a show like a Severance, or, you know what I mean? Like, or like something with some Hans Zimmer in it, something that takes me to that.
Escapism.
Yes. Anything that makes me escape reality, and then I try to put my reality in it.
That makes sense.
Like, how do I take me, how do I see me in this and take whatever I know or my experience is in to that level? Yeah. Like, how do I make the regular me go crazy like that? Yeah. That's 2. So music for sure. And it's not just rap, it's all kind of music. Yeah. But I know rap it changes so
music,
much.
film.
Music and film. I like actors, but I like certain actors. Certain actors just make me go beep.
Yeah.
I like Samuel Jackson. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. People that I see change characters, or people that I see stay the same but different people, like Denzel Washington. I feel like Denzel's Denzel all the time, but he's not.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you be you but not you?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff helped me. Like, I like actors, art. I like paintings, but I'm not really into paintings like that.
Yeah.
So I won't even put that in there. I'm a video game guy. I like games.
Okay.
Games challenge my quick decision making.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah. They say there's some like scientific proof about like people who game.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't want to butcher it, but there are some benefits to it, like to the cognitive thinking and all that kind of stuff.
And I know that's true because I don't like to play. I used to like playing story mode games when I was younger. I hate story mode. I like playing online.
Yeah.
The reason being, I know I'm playing against a person.
Yeah.
Who's thinking, who can be just like me. If I beat you, I'm better. I'm faster. I'm smarter. I outsmarted you. I outwitted you.
Yeah,
So I like games, and I like just kicking it like with regular people.
So
I like being outside of. I don't hang with a lot of dance people. You know, I don't hang with a lot of artists. Period. Like I hang with artists, but I don't.
Yeah.
I like if I hang with an artist, it has to be somebody outside of dance. I like kicking it with just like connecting with regular people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about regular stuff. Let's talk about art. I don't want to be talking about art all day. That's where I get my artistic inspirations from.
Makes sense.
Everyday life.
People,
Everyday life, bro. Don't
that
be sitting
sense.
back talking about creating something all the time. Like, that's not real.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Let's talk about we got to go to work tomorrow. And I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
That's going to make me create something crazy like that pain, whatever it is I feel when I feel like I got to wake up and go to work. That's going to come out in my artistry. Like, I don't want to talk about success.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously we talked about popping a lot throughout this episode. So like, you know, who's your top 5 OG poppers, and then who's your top 5 new generation?
New OGs. I'm gonna go Slick, Shrimp, Old Shrimp, Boogaloo Shrimp. These are people that I looked at and just changed. Wiggles,
of course,
like Wiggles is the hood legend. Boppin' Andre, these are OGs. And I'm gonna go Skeeter Rabbit.
Skeet.
Because Skeet reminded me, like I'm tall.
Yeah.
And kind of buff,
Stocky,
he reminds me of my style of movement.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And honorary Pete, because Pete get the legacy award like no one's been in the game longer than Pete.
No, he got the LeBron.
And he be firing like Pizza G. Young Bucks, outside of us, or can we add us?
It don't matter, man. The studio stories, we tell the truth, right? So just whoever.
Oh, I'm adding squad then.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Control Freaks. The new Control. So me, you, Kid, Midas.
We can count that as one.
Now,
entity.
that's one. So entity. Control Freaks will be one.
Yeah.
Outside of us, I like Paris.
Oh, from London.
She's hard,
She's
bro.
Cold.
She is hard.
She's cold. And got that creativity, too.
Yeah.
Free thinking.
I like the free thinking. I like the, boom, she just doing it. And I don't have to, I'm not naming nobody from our era. I'm just naming young.
Young.
Kids in our group. So he's already counted. In the States, I'm going to go Wiz.
Oh, okay.
I like Wiz because he got the swag. I like Bass Boy with the waves.
Yeah, Bass Boy's nice.
Bass Boy got a nice waves and
it's creative.
And I get one more. I'll go Aries. Aries because he got the technique down.
Yeah.
Aries got the technique where it's supposed to be. I'm not saying any of these people are 100% perfect, but from what I like and what I know that if they have that now, they're gonna be crazy. Those are the ones I'm gonna go with.
I like that.
Yeah.
And so my last question for you is like, I feel like now people gonna watch this episode and be like, he's from Baltimore, you know, call out legend, now transition into this industry, fashion, TV space, all this amazing stuff you doing. What is some advice you would give to the next generation of up and coming street dancers? You know, like, yeah, that's what I would ask. Like, what if someone said, you know, Mike, give your number one advice, you know, what would it be to the up and coming street dancers in this new generation? What would you tell them?
Stop being scared, man. I'm gonna be honest. Stop being scary, bro. And stop being scary. Scary meaning you worry about what everybody say. They not worried about what nobody say. You worry, bro. Like, you really care, bro. You worry about the comments. You worry about if people gonna cancel you. Listen, don't do nothing crazy, but be authentic. Everybody say be yourself, but you're not being yourself.
Because you worry
If you
about
don't care about something, don't care about it. If you don't like something, don't like it. Don't fake nothing. Stop being scary.
Yeah.
Because even if they don't like it right away, sometimes truth may hurt. Sometimes truth might hurt for years. But once it's uncovered, okay, now you, where you at? You know what I mean? Now they like, oh, you was right.
That's a fact.
So don't be scared, bro.
You'll
Stop
always
being
win
scary.
in the long run being yourself, being true to
Stop
yourself.
being scary, bro.
And this is no lie. Rest in peace, Real Cool. And I think this would be a beautiful way to end it. I remember talking to Real Cool, and you had just joined Control Freaks. I never told you this story. This is wild.
Oh, yeah.
Real Cool
Secret combos.
Real Cool calls me up and goes, yo, you got a real one. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, Mike, nigga. Ooh, I don't want to get emotional. That's crazy. Yeah, like, he's like, you got a real one. It's not too many people that's as loyal as him, bro. So just know you got a real one in the squad with you, bro. Like, he's a real friend outside of this dance. You know what I mean? And he gonna have your back 24/7. And I was like, I appreciate that, man. And I'll never forget he told me that shit. And I was like, damn, that's powerful, man. And like, now that we've grown and we've known each other 10 plus years, but like, that statement has never been more true. Woo. Yeah. It's never been more true. Like, a lot of people who don't know you the way I know you, like, Mike's the dude who will call you to make sure you all right. You know, Mike's the dude, it's my dog right here. You know what I'm saying? Mike's a real one. And Real Cool, rest in peace, he said that. And I think that has a lot to do with your family upbringing. So I just wanted to end the episode on a drip where you just talk about, like, what does family mean to you? Because I think that loyalty thing, you don't just learn that overnight. That's rooted from how you were raised. So like, I would want you to tell people, like, what does family mean to you? Because I know how you treat me and my wife and all of us, you know what I'm saying? So like, I just want you to talk to your audience and let them know, like, what loyalty and family means to you.
Man, we grew up, that's all you have.
Yeah.
All you got is your people, all you got is your family, all you have is your word, what you do.
Facts.
It's not about what, like, it's not like the industry. I can tell you something and it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
We need to see that.
Stand
So if you ain't pulling up to the crib for the family dinner, you ain't it. If you ain't hitting me up, we ain't in, before it wasn't no group chats. It wasn't no text messages. Boy, you had to be there.
You had to pull up.
That's all we do. Like, we with each other all summer, all winter. We at every party. We through the drama, through the ups, through the downs. You know what I mean? We drinking. We at our first together, our last together, whatever it is. Life, death. That's regular.
Yeah, facts.
so I don't know anything else.
Yeah, that's
And
a
if you ain't my people, you ain't nothing. That's how.
Yeah.
I don't see you.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about battling. I don't care if they your top person. I don't care. These my people. We rock it.
So we rock. That's how we rock.
And so that energy, that's what it is. So I love my family. I love all my people back. I got a billion people back in Baltimore. So not even outside my immediate family. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
but even outside of my immediate family is my immediate family.
Facts.
So
Makes sense.
same, bro.
Shout out King Mike.
Man.
Studio Stories, founder
I love
Studio
you too,
Stories,
brother. You
battle
already
legend. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Hey, I'm hosting this.
He just stole the episode. He hacked the episode. Episode 4, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Love y'all. Oh!
I try to see if I can see if it landed where you get it.
Hey, that's a good episode, bro.
No.